The year is 600 BC. Babylon is the largest city on Earth. Nearly 200,000 people live within enormous defensive walls that stretch for miles across the Mesopotamian plain. At the center of it all rules King Nebuchadnezzar II, master of an empire that stretches from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. The magnificent Ishtar Gate gleams with brilliant blue glazed bricks. The towering ziggurat of Marduk rises high above the skyline. And somewhere within the palace complex, the legendary hanging gardens may cascade with lush green terraces. But what was it actually like to live here? Not as a king or priest, but as an ordinary person trying to survive in the greatest city of ancient Mesopotamia. Using historical records and archaeological discoveries, we can reconstruct what 24 hours in ancient Babylon might have looked like. Not just the wonders and legends, but the real city, the muddy Euphrates flooding neighborhoods, the contracts written in a script most people cannot read, and the gods who demand constant devotion from dawn until night. This is what life was actually like in ancient Babylon. Let's step back 2,600 years. The sun begins to rise over the flat lands of Mesopotamia. Babylon is already awake. You stand near the Euphrates River, which cuts directly through the center of the city. The river is everything here. It provides water, transportation, and protection. It is also believed to be a gift from the gods themselves. It is early spring, the Babylonian month of Nisanu, and the barley harvest will soon begin. Fishermen are already on the water in small, round reed boats called kufas. Waterproofed with bitumen, these strange vessels look like floating baskets, yet they have carried goods along these rivers for thousands of years. They pull up nets filled with carp and catfish, fish that will be sold in the markets before midday or dried and salted for storage. Nearby, women walk down to the river carrying clay jars. Every drop of water must be collected by hand. There are no pipes, no aqueducts, no fountains, only the muddy Euphrates flowing south toward the Persian Gulf. Outside the city walls, farmers begin walking toward their fields. They grow barley, wheat, onions, garlic, sesame, and dates. Agriculture here depends entirely on irrigation. Mesopotamia literally means the land between the rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. But unlike Egypt's predictable Nile floods, these rivers are unpredictable and violent. Too much water and the fields are destroyed. Too little water and the crops fail. So the Babylonians have built an elaborate system of canals, levees, and irrigation channels that must be constantly maintained. For now, the system is working, and Babylon is waking up. You begin walking toward the Ishtar Gate, the main entrance to the inner city. Nothing else in the ancient world looks like it. The gate towers nearly 60 feet high, covered entirely in deep blue glazed bricks. Across its surface march rows of lions, bulls, and dragons in brilliant yellow and white relief. This is more than architecture. It is a declaration. Babylon is the center of the world. Beyond the gate lies the processional way, a wide ceremonial road paved with limestone and redstone. The walls beside it are decorated with hundreds of golden lions. During the New Year festival, priests carry the statue of the god Marduk along this road, while thousands of citizens gather to celebrate the renewal of the cosmos. But today is an ordinary day. Guards inspect people entering the inner city, making sure no one carries weapons. Once inside, the noise of the city overwhelms you. This is Babylon's commercial district. Merchants from across the known world crowd the streets. You hear languages from every direction: Akkadian, Aramaic, Persian, Greek, Egyptian, and Arabic. Babylon sits at the crossroads of ancient trade routes. Markets overflow with goods from distant lands: copper from Anatolia, tin from Afghanistan, lapis lazuli from Persia, cedarwood from Lebanon, and incense from Arabia. Babylon itself lacks stone, timber, and metal, but it produces massive amounts of grain, dates, textiles, and oil. Controlling the trade routes makes the city incredibly wealthy. You arrive at a scribe's office near the market. you need a contract written. You are borrowing barley to plant your field and must repay it with interest after the harvest. The scribe sits cross-legged on the floor with a lump of wet clay. Using a sharpened reed stylus, he presses small wedge-shaped marks on the surface. This writing system is called cuneiform, meaning wedge-shaped. It has been used in Mesopotamia for over 2,000 years. The scribe carefully records the details: your name, the lender's name, the amount of barley, the repayment date, and the interest owed. Then he rolls a small carved cylinder seal across the clay tablet. The engraved image leaves a unique impression. This is your signature. The tablet will dry in the sun and be stored in an archive. Babylonians record everything: loans, marriages, land sales, court cases, and business deals. You pay the scribe with silver measured by weight because coins do not exist yet. In Babylon, everything is measured precisely: weight, volume, and time. The Babylonians divided the hour into 60 minutes and the circle into 360 degrees. Thousands of years later, we still use their system. Later, you pass through the palace district. Above the mud brick buildings rise terraces covered with greenery. If the stories are true, these are the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. But historians still debate whether they ever existed. No Babylonian text clearly mentions them, and no confirmed archaeological evidence has been found. The only descriptions come from Greek writers centuries later. But imagine if they were real. Massive terraces stacked one above another, trees and vines spilling over the edges, water flowing from the top and irrigating every level, an artificial mountain of greenery rising from the dusty plains. Legend says King Nebuchadnezzar built the gardens for his wife, a princess from the mountains who missed the green landscapes of her homeland. Whether myth or reality, the idea reveals something about Babylon. This was a civilization determined to reshape nature itself. Now you stand at the base of Etemenaki, the great ziggurat dedicated to the god Marduk. The massive stepped tower rises hundreds of feet into the sky, 7 enormous levels stacked one above another. Later Greek writers will associate this structure with the Tower of Babel. But for the Babylonians, this tower is not an act of arrogance, it is devotion. The ziggurat is the place where heaven and earth meet. At the top sits a sacred shrine that only the high priest may enter. Throughout the day, priests perform rituals, offering bread, sheep, beer, dates, and oil to the gods. Marduk, once a minor deity, has become the supreme god of Babylon. According to Babylonian myth, he defeated the chaos monster Tiamat and created the world from her body. In return, the gods built Babylon as his earthly home. As long as rituals continue, order remains. If the gods are neglected, chaos could return. As evening falls, priests climb to high rooftops near the temple and begin watching the sky. Babylonian priests are the greatest astronomers in the ancient world. For centuries, they have tracked the movements of planets and stars. They can predict lunar eclipses and record planetary cycles with astonishing accuracy. But their goal is not science alone. They believe the heavens send messages from the gods. An eclipse may signal danger for the king. The position of Jupiter may predict war or prosperity. So they watch the sky night after night, recording everything on clay tablets. Their observations will influence astronomy for thousands of years. Eventually, you return home. Your house is built from mud brick, with rooms arranged around a small courtyard. There are no windows facing the street. Everything opens inward for privacy and protection. Your wife has spent the day baking bread, weaving cloth, and caring for the children. Dinner is simple: barley bread, thick, nutritious beer, onions, garlic, and sometimes fish. Meat is rare unless you are wealthy. After dinner, families tell stories passed down for generations. Stories of Gilgamesh, the legendary king who searched for immortality. Stories of a great flood and a man named Utnapishtim who survived by building an ark. Eventually, the city grows quiet. There are no street lights and no night markets, only darkness and the distant sound of the Euphrates River. People stay indoors. They fear bandits, wild animals, and demons, spirits believed to cause illness and misfortune. Amulets hang in doorways, and clay figures are buried beneath floors to protect the house.
and people prayed to the gods for safety, health, and a good harvest. Because life here is fragile, many children never survive past the age of 5. Disease and hunger are constant threats. But this is simply the world they know. And tomorrow, as the sun rises again over the Euphrates, Babylon will wake once more, the greatest city of its time, filled with merchants, farmers, priests, scribes, and families living their lives beneath the shadow of towering temples. This was a day in the life of ancient Babylon.